Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is one that I have kind of been putting off because I've struggled with how to explain this, so I'm going to explain it as best as I can to you. And this is basically using percentages. Yeah, percentages. I'm going to say percentages when it comes to your formulas. So yeah, bear with me. This is going to be a long ride. Okay, so number one, the reason why you should write your formulas in percentages is because a lot of chemists, they only want to see your formulas written in those. It's easy for them to figure out and convert everything. And now you're probably thinking, I don't know how to work out my percentage or work out the percentage of each of my products. Guys, don't worry. If you're not really great with maths, there's always websites out there that will help you convert your grams and ounces or milliliters into a percentage. So don't worry, there's many. I'm going to try and add them to the description box below so you can go to one place that I use a lot is grapefruit. Amazing. So don't worry guys, I've got your back. Description box below. And if you don't want to go to the website, you can always use your calculator to work out the percentage. My next point, why does my product have to add up to 100? I just say 100 means whole. It just means that everything is perfect, it's whole. Anything that goes above or beneath, something is not right with your formula. So when it's 100, that means it's perfect, it's whole. Think of a pie. That's how I can explain it. Think of a pie. If something's taken out of it, something's not quite right. If something's added to it, it doesn't look quite pie shaped. It's more looking like an oblong, you know. So when you see a pie, we know pies as circles. So 100 means it's perfect. That's the best way I could think of it. It means your product is whole, it's perfect, everything is in the correct order. That's the best way I can explain it. If I'm wrong, I apologize. If you can explain it better, please write it in the comment box below. That's how my mind works. I understood. One time I sent my formula to a chemist and it was over 100, and they sent it back to me saying, oh, it has to be this is how I figured out that everything has to be 100. It has to be 100, or if it's not 100, then it means that the person making this is incompetent. Are you incompetent? And I was like, what kind of sass is that? No, I'm not incompetent. I just, I'm trying to figure this one out. I'm new to this, guys. Help me out, And the best way to work out your products and how to convert them into a big batch or a small batch is basically, how I like to do it is figure out, so if you've got a container and you've got to figure out how much can fit in this container. Let's say you have a 200 milliliter container and you are filling it with, I don't know, a lotion, let's just say. And so now you've got to break down your recipe into, you've got to figure out how you can make 200 milliliters worth of recipe. So let's just say this is just a quick formulation that I made. It's not accurate. It's just for an example. It's an example, guys. So don't be like, that's wrong. An example. So like I said before, when you're buying products from these websites, they tell you how much you can use. So let's say I bought a carrier oil. Let's say it's argan oil, and I can only use in my lotion 15% or 15 or 10 to 40%, let's just say. So I'm going to use 15% of my carrier oil. Then I'm going to use butter in my, when I say butter, I'm not talking about like spreadable butter for your bread. I mean like cocoa butter, shea butter, all those things for your skin. Alright guys, I'm going to use 5% because it says on the website I can use between 5 or 1% to 20%. So I'm going to use 5%. And then for my, that is basically part of my oil phase. So another thing for my oil phase, I'm going to use an emulsifying. I'm going to use emulsifying wax NF, and I'm going to use 3% because it says I can use between 3% to 10%. And then I'm going to use acetyl alcohol, and I'm also going to use 3% because it says I can use, 3%, blah blah blah. And then I'm going to use, now for my cool down phase, my preservative. When I read on the website, it says I could only use 1%. Fragrance oil, I could only use 1%. And then for my cut on my colour, I can use, it didn't tell me how much I can use, so I'm only going to use a little bit. So I'm going to use 0.5%. That's probably a lot, but it's for this. Now, you're thinking, where is your water? I like to think about or work out how much water I'm going to use at the end of my formulation, because that way I know whatever's left over in my formulation, once I've added everything up together, that is how much water I'm going to use. So when I add up the 15, the 5, the 3, the 3, the 1, 1, 0.5, it all adds up to 28.5%. That's 25%, 28.5% of my ingredients are all those things. And now I only have 71.5% left over, and that's what I'm going to use as my water. If I wanted to, I can use 10% of that using floral water. I can use 5% of it using glycerin if I wanted to, but I'm actually, for now, I'm just going to use 71.5% water. When you add 71.5% plus a 28.5%, altogether it makes 100. So my formulation is perfect. It is whole. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I apologize. Now that I've worked out my percentage and how much of each ingredient I'm going to use in my product, it's time to work out how much in milliliters or grams I'm going to use in this bottle. And because it's a 200 milliliter bottle, we are going with milliliters. And this part is the easiest part because all you need to use is a calculator or a converter. So you just got to work out 71.5% of 200 milliliters. That is 143 milliliters. So that's basically how much water you're going to use in the product. 15% out of 200 milliliters is 30 milliliters. That's how much oil you're going to use. 5% out of 200 milliliters is 10 milliliters. That's how much butter. 3% of 200 milliliters is 6 milliliters. So that is how much acetyl acid, and also emulsifying wax NF you're going to be using. Preservatives and fragrance oil is 2%. No, 1%. Damn, I messed up. Why did I put 2%? It's 1%, sorry. It's 1%, and that is 2 milliliters. And 0.5% milliliters equals 1 milliliters. And that's how much, I should have a little display, and that's how much of each ingredient you are going to put in this 200 milliliters. And it's the same for if you had a 20 milliliters, and it's the same for if you had a 2000. It's just working out the percentage. So no matter how much you're going to make, as long as you've got your formulation out in percentage, you're good. You're set for life. Okay, I'm going to end this video on one last thing that I had to learn the hard way. I didn't realize that working out grams or milliliters in liquid is very different to working out grams and milliliters for your flours and your powders. I mean, I know this is not about percentage, but I thought I'll just add this into this video because it threw me. So if you're making, let's say, a powdered face clay, and I use a lot of powders. I had my formula written out in percentage, and I thought, yeah, great, I'm gonna convert my formulas using, the 100 milliliters and the blah 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 blah, the way I explained it. And as I was adding, I realized I had too much ingredients for this 100 milliliter tub. And then it dawned on me, this milliliter of liquid, I said in the beginning, I work in grams instead of milliliters, and I didn't realise that 1 milliliter of liquid is 1 gram of liquid, but 1 milliliter of flour or powder doesn't equal 1 milliliter, it equals less. And I was like, or more, it equals less. And I was like, oh yeah, no wonder why my ingredients are looking a bit funny, because I'm using more when I should be using less. So if you're lost and confused how to figure out 1 milliliter of powder or flour and trying to convert that into grams, simply Google it. And for me, what came up was 1 milliliter of flour converted into grams is 0.528 grams, or on some websites it says 0.5 grams. Sorry, or on some websites it says 0.53 grams. You can go for the 53 grams, but I went with 0.528 grams. I think less. I will say go less, because if you go more and it goes a bit wrong, you know. Now the container I'm using, it holds 100 milliliters of whatever. So now I need to convert 100 milliliters and figure out how much is 100 milliliters of flour in grams. So basically what I did was 100 milliliters times 0.528 grams, which equaled 52.8 grams. And I did the same thing with the 0.53 grams, which is 53 grams. And so now I realized, okay, how much, now that I've got the 52.8 grams, now I can figure out, okay, 50% of 52 blah, blah, is this much. And it worked. It helped. My containers, everything fit in my containers. It was perfect. Nothing was wrong. When I went and got them tested, it was perfect. I'm so glad that came to me, because I would have been stuck. Trust me. So yes, guys, I know that was a lot of information. I apologize. I tried my best. If you did not understand it, I apologize. But it is a lot. But once you get into it and you understand it, it's easy. Hello and welcome to Bellissimo Bubbles. Bellissimo Bubbles is a skincare line aimed at young teens to encourage them to love and embrace themselves. The line consists of bath bombs, face clays and other skin loving products. To find out where you can buy some products or follow us on social media, everything you need is in the description box below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.